Hey guys, Teresa here. Welcome back to my channel, Lost My Thread. Today I'm going to take you behind the scenes to have a peek at my fabric stash. I don't know about you guys, but I know that I always love getting a little glimpse into somebody else's fabric collection. I feel like it reveals quite a lot about you. It's always really interesting to see what are the things that you're kind of expecting, the things that are less expected. What I want to do today is kind of a two-parter where I want to first show you my fabric collection. I'm going to show you how I organize my fabric both physically and digitally. There are some fabrics though that I am holding on to that I maybe had inspiration for once upon a time. Maybe I just got them because I love the look of them and I'm just not sure what to do with those fabrics. So I'm going to be pulling those fabrics out, showing them to you at the end and getting your thoughts on what you think I can do to get these from my fabric collection and on my body in a wearable garment. Let's go check it out. So this is my wardrobe in my bedroom. This is where I keep my seasonal clothes that I'm currently wearing on rotation. I got a little peek in there. You might recognize a few pieces. And then this section here is where I keep my fabric. I do also have a portion of my dresser that we're not going to talk about today. I'm calling it my scrap heap of doom. At some point I want to organize my fabric scraps, but they're not going into the main fabric section. But let me show you what I've got. So inside here is all of my fabric. I have it organized into 3 different sections. It's approximately color sorted as well. And below there I also have my yarn. I don't have a powerful amount of yarn or anything that exciting to show you guys, so I'm not going to get into that, but I do want to show you some of the bits within the fabric. In the top section here, these are my lighter weight wovens, my Drapier woven fabrics. So I've got some like super lightweight cotton fabrics, I've got some viscose fabrics, I've got some linen viscose blends, but these are things that are going to be lighter weight, often for the warmer weather, but also things with a bit of drape and a little bit of movement. Each of the fabrics is rolled up and tied with a label of details of the fabric, where I got it and how much I have. These then are the more structured wovens, so they don't have a lot of drape to them. A lot of them are a bit heavier weight as well. It's not going to be necessarily that precise, so it can be a little bit tricky to define these things. But these are the things that generally do not have as much drape, are a little bit more structured, and many of them will be more suitable for cooler weather as well. And then these are my jersey fabrics. I obviously don't have as many as I do of the woven, so I haven't separated them out by weight, but I have done a little bit of a color gradation going across. So I'm going to pull out a few fabrics I'm a bit undecided about, and I would love to get your thoughts. So I have ended up pulling out quite a lot of fabric, but these ones on top I'm actually separating out because I want to use these for my summer sewing plans. I will be talking through that video next week, so if you want to see what I'm thinking about for these fabrics, make sure to come back. But what I do want to do now is chat through these babies that I feel like I'm just lacking a little bit of inspiration about. As you guys saw, I really do like to roll my fabric up into a little sausage, and I just tie it in a couple of places with some cotton twine. I have labels just made out of a piece of card where I've punched a hole and then I've written down the information that I think I'm going to need. So I will have the content of the fabric, the type of fabric, the length of the piece, the width of the fabric, and where I got it. On some of them I'm even more organized and I have like the weight of it. If they're stretch, I might have more information about that. I have tried a variety of ways of organizing my fabric. At one point I was using the comic book cards that you wrap the fabric around. They look like a mini bolt and you can kind of line them up. I found that that did not work very well for a lot of fabrics. It didn't work well for drapey fabrics, for thicker fabrics. It basically was just for certain woven fabrics. I feel like particularly good for quilting cottons, but most of my fabric is not quilting cotton. So I do like the rolls. What's nice about it is I can have everything just visually. I can see what I have. I can look at the colors. I can have everything pulled forward so that I know exactly what's there. It's nice when you want to just have a bit of a browse through your fabric. I also like that you can pull a piece of fabric out and everything doesn't just topple, which is what used to happen when I had everything just folded and stacked up. So this for me works the best. What I found though with having a purely physical fabric organization method was that there were times when I wasn't in front of my fabric that I wanted to think about, dream up projects, remember what fabrics I had in my collection, and so I decided to put all of my fabrics over onto Threadloop. There are actually quite a lot of different sites out there and apps that you can use to log all of the fabric that you have. I like Threadloop because it's free to put all of your fabric up on there. It's specifically designed for fabric, so it has different sections where you can fill in details about things like the substrate, the type of weave, if there is stretch, percentage of stretch, where you got it, and then you can have like a visual log where you can scroll through all the fabric that you have in your collection. I find it very intuitive and easy to use. If you are on Threadloop, you can actually have a browse through my fabric stash because I've made it public. You can have it private or public. And all of my pattern stash is public as well. So if you're curious to have a nose, I think you do have to have an account to be able to view it, but I will put a link down below if you want to check mine out. Now these three are all lightweight viscose fabrics. I will talk through each of them and give you my thoughts. This one is a viscose lawn. It came from So Me Sunshine. I have 3 meters of it and it's 150 centimeters wide, so it's pretty wide. Because it has a red background, it's actually pretty opaque, which makes it very adaptable. I think I could make quite a lot of things with this. I really like the floral print. These are really good colors for me, and I feel like I don't often find good florals in my colors. It's quite a tiny little ditsy print though, and that's just making me feel a little bit unsure. I feel like maybe I'm not like a ditsy floral kind of person, but maybe I would like it if it was made up into the right kind of garment. I bought it thinking of making a dress, which is what I'm still leaning toward. I feel like a nice floaty, billowy dress, something for summertime, maybe with some tiers, but I don't have a specific pattern in mind. So if you have any ideas or something completely out of left field, please do throw it my way. This is another viscose lawn. This one came from the Fabric Godmother. Another one I've got 3 meters of, and this one is a little bit narrow, 135 centimeters wide, but still a good width. I'll be honest, I got this one really just because of the name, because it's called Theresa Viscose Lawn, and I was like, well, if I can just know that I'm wearing Theresa fabric, it's just very fun to me. It is a good red. I love this kind of red. It's like a tomato-y red, and the flowers, of course, are very pretty. I've got a nice little, more subtle floral print. I like that they're a bit more spaced out and the scale is a bit bigger as well. Again, with this red background, it is quite an opaque viscose as well. This one I was actually debating making a jumpsuit with, so I created a jumpsuit using a shirred bodice and some wide leg pants I made a video about before. I'll pop in some pictures of the one that I made. That one is now too small, I can't wear it, but I love the style and I really like the concept, and I was wondering if this might work well for that. I feel like it would be a really beautiful skirt as well, but I have a fair amount of skirts and I'm not sure that this color is especially one that I would find useful in my wardrobe for a skirt. Again, totally open to suggestions. I could see even maybe making like some separates, but I wouldn't want it to look too much like loungewear, which is always a bit of a balance when you're trying to do something with separates. But let me know what you think. This one is definitely a little bit different for me. This one actually came from a D-stash. My friend Emma of So Do It Emma was getting rid of this fabric because she wasn't using it, wanted somebody else to get it and love it. This is a super, super lightweight viscose fabric. Again, as you can see, it has this really wonderful drape to it. It's a Zara ex-designer fabric as well. If I can show you up front, so it has a floral print, but I feel like it almost looks more abstract from a distance. I don't feel like it gives the same ditzy floral feel. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see on video, but it actually has a little bit of lurex in it. There's a little bit of gold in it, which is not really something I tend to gravitate toward, but I think it seems quite fun. Now, this fabric having a lighter base, it is definitely on the sheer side. It's not completely sheer, but I think I would need to be careful. I think it would definitely be okay for a blouse, but as far as a skirt, I'm a little nervous. I do think often when you have like gathers and tiers and things, you get enough fabric bunching up that it's not an issue, so that's the way I'm leaning. But I really think this could be a fantastic dress, and I think it would be nice to be able to make something that would really emphasize the beautiful drape of this. I feel like this could have quite a kind of goddess-like feel to it if it's done correctly. I'm not quite sure. I would love to get ideas from you guys. I've been going back and forth about this one, but I think it could be really magnificent for the summertime. And if I find the right project for this one, this could possibly be used for frocktails. I'm going to London Frocktails in, I think it's October, and I got a full 4 meters of this one. It's 140 centimeters wide. I've got quite a lot to play with, so tell me what you think. Moving on to a couple of more heavier, more structured woven fabrics. This is a really gorgeous linen fabric that I got from Sew Me Sunshine. It's 100% linen. I would say it is a more structured linen fabric. I would say it's more of like a medium weight. It's not completely stiff, but it's definitely not got that same kind of drape as the other fabrics I was showing you guys. I have 2 meters of this and it's 1.6 meters wide, so it's a really nice wide fabric. The thing that is making me pause on this one is the color. This is not really my kind of blue. These are not my kind of colors, but I just loved this fabric and I decided that I needed it. I had the idea of making a skirt with this. I felt like a skirt would be better because it's not too close to my face, but then I just don't know if I have enough tops even to mix and match with this. I might have to have a little look around what I've got in my Me-Made wardrobe. I will say that if I don't have something that goes with this and I feel like I probably wouldn't wear it, I may end up destashing this one or bringing it to a fabric swap. But if you do have thoughts, I would love to hear them. And I will also put a link to my Threadloop profile where you can see all of the projects that I've made. If you have any specific tops that you've seen me wear that you think would work well with this, if it was like a mix and match combo, let me know. I don't think there's probably enough to make much more than a skirt, and also, like I said, I think it's probably something I would rather wear on the bottom, but I mean, maybe pajamas would be all right for wearing at home. Have you guys ever done that with fabric that doesn't really suit your coloring? I'd be curious to know if you wear those things, if you have. This fabric, I think it's coming across. It's so hard to capture these things on camera, but this is a velvet fabric. It's a blend, viscose and polyester blend. Now, I had a pretty terrible time sewing with some silk velvet a couple years ago, but I don't want to stop and give up on the concept, and I think it could be a pretty magical garment. So I actually got this one from a D-stash. It's Stitch Odyssey on Instagram was getting rid of it. It's 3 meters long, 140 centimeters wide. When I got it, I was initially thinking that I wanted to make a skirt with it, but I also wondered whether it could be cool for a jacket. I think a velvet jacket is a really cool concept. And I think this color, this chocolate brown, is a really good color for me and would work in my wardrobe. The problem though is with the poly content and sort of feeling it, I don't think it's going to be very breathable, and I don't want to make something that's going to be tight up under my arms. So a jacket is out of the picture. A skirt is still potential. I have a fair bit of it here, and it does have some nice drape to it from the viscose content, as you guys can see. But it's just that polyester that's really putting me off and making me wonder if maybe it was a bad choice. I'm hoping that somebody has some great ideas and inspiration of things that I can do and make me realize that actually, yes, it was right to get this fabric. I think it is really beautiful. It's super soft. I feel like there's a potential. I'm just a little bit stuck on it. It is a more like medium to heavyweight fabric as well, so it will be quite warm. And finally, some jersey fabrics. This is a viscose jersey fabric that I got from Vogue Fabrics in Evanston, Illinois, near Chicago, where I'm from. I feel like this is probably the one that's been in my stash for the longest. I've probably had it for about, we're probably talking close to 10 years. And what I will say about this fabric, because it is a viscose jersey, it does have really lovely drape to it. It is a lighter weight viscose jersey for sure. And when you stretch it, it is a little bit see-through, a little bit sheer. So I have to be quite careful with it. I really like the colors. That's what drew me in, of course. It's kind of like an abstract floral, and I think it's really fun. When I bought this, I had the idea of trying to copy some dresses that I used to regularly get from White Stuff. I haven't been able to find images of the actual dress, but it was a jersey dress, 3/4 length sleeve. There were some gathers under the bust line. They had a few different styles, but usually, yeah, there were some gathers under the bust line. There was a waist seam. I believe there may have even been bust darts. It was a like medium kind of scoop neck, round neckline. I don't really have to make that dress, but I'm not quite sure what I want to do with it. So I do have 2.5 meters of it, and it is a wide fabric. It's 170 centimeters wide. I got this very reasonably priced because I remember there was a slight fault in the fabric in one section. Am I even going to be able to find it? I can't see it. I'll have to have a good hunt and make sure that I work around that section. But I feel like the color is really good. I was leaning more towards making something that I could wear with tights and boots in the colder weather. Doesn't have to be that. I just feel like the colors with the brown base, it makes a little bit more sense to me for that. But it's also a lighter weight fabric, and I feel like that's maybe a little bit why I've been stuck with what to do with it, because I want something that is going to do well with the drape and the structure of this, but also that I'm not going to be too cold in the colder months. I feel like there's a pattern out there that I just haven't quite thought about yet, so give me your thoughts, give me your suggestions. Because this is a drapey jersey, I also know from experience that whatever pattern I choose, I want something over the tummy area, either gathering or a tie maybe, just so I'm not accentuating that area, because it will definitely cling to every lump and bump, and I don't want to feel self-conscious if I'm a little bit bloated that day. This is a cotton jersey fabric that came from Fabric Godmother. I have 2 meters of it. It's 140 centimeters wide. It is, I would say, kind of like a medium, like a t-shirt weight cotton jersey, and I do think it's pretty good when it stretches, that it tends to keep the color quite well. I bought this with the intention of making a dress for the winter time, sort of the autumn winter time. The colors though are bolder than I thought they were going to be. I thought it was really fun, the floral and these colors, but they are like neon popping, and I'm not entirely sure what I want to make with it. I feel like I probably want to make something fairly simple because the fabric itself is so loud and busy, but with the amount that I have, I'm just a little bit unsure. 2 meter jersey dresses, what do you guys think would work well for this? This is a tencel jersey in a blush pink. I think when it arrived, it was definitely a little bit closer to my skin tone than I was probably intending for it to be, and I'm a bit worried that I might just look a bit naked when I'm wearing it, and I think that's probably what's making me pause the most. This came from So Me Sunshine. It's from a brand called Meat Milk, and I've always really liked their fabrics in general, so I knew it would be really good quality. I have 1.5 meters. It's 165 centimeters wide, so again, really nice and wide. It is quite lightweight. It has really wonderful, beautiful drape to it. If I'm completely honest, I can't remember what I was thinking when I bought this. I think I was maybe planning to make a tee, like a long sleeve tee, but this color feels more like spring summer to me, so it might make more sense for a tank top, but I've got a lot for a tank top. Open to suggestions. It may well be that I end up using this to make things as like underlayers if I feel like the color is just a little bit too pink for me, too close to flesh tone. But I'm curious to see what you guys think. Maybe some of you guys have some bright ideas that I haven't thought about. It is incredibly soft and it feels really wonderful against the skin. So I think one way or another I'm going to enjoy it. It does have a slight sheen to it, which may or may not be coming up. Yeah, I think you can actually see that a little bit on camera. Tell me what you think. I'm curious to hear how you guys organize your fabric. Is it similar to mine? Do you have another system that you think works really well for you, whether we're talking like physical storage or digital categorization? One of the things I found by putting my things onto Threadloop and looking at the types of fabrics I had, things that they had in common, all of these 3 fabrics that I've pulled out that I'm looking at for my summer sewing plans, they all have some things in common, and I feel like I need to figure out what to do with them. I've been dreaming up some ideas and inspiration, but you guys are gonna have to come back next week to find out what those are. I hope you enjoyed a peek into my fabric stash. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel to see upcoming videos, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!